I'm back, and as you can see, the bag looks a million times better now that I've cleaned both sides. It just looks so much better. And the handles are now fairly evenly dark along the entire handle, rather than having that very clear, dark, dirty, oily, makeup-y, whatever it was, spot right where you would carry it. I cleaned the flaps. I cleaned the strap. It was actually very energy intensive. When I think about the time it takes to clean and condition a bag that's like a project bag, I think in the future I will just spend a little extra money and buy a bag that's in better condition, because then I don't have to do all this hard labor. It's remarkably taxing to scrub for like an hour for each side of the bag, and then the handles, and then the strap. But today I'm going to condition with the Apple brand leather conditioner and see if that brings the bag up to an even higher standard of improvement. That was a weird way to say that. Oh yeah, that bottle has to be opened. Helps to open things first. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it, but on this bag, I actually used a very soft, very cheap nylon brush, toothbrush, and it was never used before, and I think you can tell that the brush is a bit dirty. I would wipe it after every section I did, but on the very stubborn spots, especially on the deep texture, I said yesterday I wanted to get the dirt out. I thought it was worth a shot, being a cheap project bag, and it did a nice job. I got the bottom much cleaner, and I got parts of the back that were very dirty much cleaner. I would not use it on a fine or rare or expensive bag, but like I said, I paid like 60 bucks for this, and I wasn't gonna lose much because it was already so filthy. All right, it's conditioner time. Let's start with the flap. Actually, let's start with reading the directions. Shake well. Almost forgot to do that. Test in a hidden area. Clean soft cloth, apply liberally, let dry, buff gently with dry, soft cloth. Okay. For exotic and naked leathers, apply sparingly and work gently into the surface. Buff gently with sheepskin or towel. Okay. Do not use on suede, nubuck, or napped leathers. Naturally, you shouldn't ever use them, anything on those things. Shouldn't touch them, shouldn't have them. This does not make the same sound as the other bottle. Okay. Thicker. I trust it. Everyone says this is tough to use, so I'm not going to test it on a hidden spot yet. Now the question is, as this brings back the shine of the leather, is it going to bring back the imperfections that are hidden by it being a bit dull? I guess we're about to find out. What's that little bit of red? What's that from? Weird. Just stuff this. Why didn't I stuff this? I said I would do that yesterday. I'm gonna stuff this. Hold on. I'm back. When in doubt, use a cheap pillow. Who wants to go to the other room to get a bunch of paper, crumple it up? Too much work for me. Magnets on this guy are strong. So far, it doesn't seem to be doing much. Granted, I still have to buff it with a dry towel, which I'm also gonna have to get up to get, or maybe I'll use tissues. But it feels, oh, it feels nicer. I'm gonna do the front of the bag and then I'm gonna buff it, I think. Seems like a good order of operations. I think the olive color is actually becoming a bit more intense, which is nice because it's a good color. It's funny, when I got this one, all of the other ones listed for sale were, you know, well into the 1 to 200s. But suddenly, after I've spent the 60 or so on this guy, there's a bunch on eBay that are in actual auction formats with a much lower starting bid. So I'll be very curious to see what they actually go for at auction when people can bid and sort of set their own price. In the saga of the colored small satchels, the lady who listed the orchid or dusty lavender calf satchel, and then I bought it, and then she refunded my money and said the item wasn't available, said it was an automatic listing that she had scheduled to go in the future, but that the satchel was gone already. Oh, my heart. But someone today in one of the Facebook groups listed a violet small satchel in Florentine, which I would totally be into. I have a violet Clayton and I love the color. I just don't like the Clayton format. It's not for me. But this lady who listed the violet small satchel wants almost $500 for it, which is ridiculous. And she says she's firm. I don't think anyone's gonna buy it. I'm willing to pay like $300 for a Florentine or calf satchel in a perfect, amazing color, because they were like $400 new, $368, $398 depending. But paying more than new for a secondhand item doesn't make sense. It makes more sense to wait and see if Dooney comes out with more colors. My hope, since I'm new to this whole thing, is that they come out with new colors in the spring or summer, because that's what they did last year. And it seems like what they did before with the Florentines. And it makes sense that they wouldn't do these colors in the winter. But it seems like they all sold out. Like, it seems like they all these colors sold out. So why wouldn't they make more? All right. Did I do both sides? No. Distracting myself. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna unhook this because I can do that. Amazing. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Okay. I do love the matte hardware, I have to say. The pebble leather has the shiny hardware. I'm not as big a fan. Some people say it's more durable though, which in that case it's good, I'll accept it, but matte gold just looks so good. I'm gonna be real careful with the tassels because they are suede, so I wanna make sure I only get it on the outside. They're suede lined rather, you know, Florentine. Not that anyone could tell if you got a little water spot on your suede tassel lining. Okay. Now let's buff with a dry cloth. I hear baby wipes are the thing to use for the interiors. So, not having any babies, I'm going to have to get some baby wipes just for this purpose. It definitely has a renewed luster. Look at that. That looks so good compared to the back. I think the shine is more even now that I've conditioned the front, and it's not as even on the back, even though the leather is still quite shiny. It's definitely, it feels drier, and it's not as even, the shine. So let's finish her up, and then I'm going to condition my salmon medium satchel. Which I was excited to get for a good price. This reminds me of getting puff paint on like cheap sweatshirts as a kid. Some sort of school project or something, I forget why. Oh, the conditioning goes so much easier than the cleaning. This is gonna sound like I'm the ultimate wuss, but my arms hurt from the cleaning, my hands specifically. I also moved a really heavy rug, which might be the reason my arms hurt at the shoulder joint, the ball joint. But I have a joint condition, so things can slip out of socket really easily, which doesn't make any sense, I know. But I've dislocated both arms and both hips at this point. Luckily, they go back in easily. But the like scrubbing and stuff, like gripping, holding, I'm kind of in pain. It's not bad. Take some ibuprofen. But it's definitely not nothing to clean up a really dirty bag. It's quite a bit of work. If you've got the energy, I mean, super rewarding. If you don't have the energy, sort of a problem. Actually, I think my arm pain is probably from the rug. That makes more sense. Hand pain, though, I bet. Ooh, that looks so nice. That turned out great. Now, just to condition the flap. I cleaned this one pretty good too. Surprisingly, it was not as dirty. So I've noticed as I got real up close and personal with this bag that it has some pin marks on it. And they're not very bad. This olive color really hides a lot of sins. I mean, I've been looking at like the designer colors, like pinks and salmons and light blues and stuff, and I'm, you know, finding bags that have spots on them, and they're like at reasonable prices. But the spots are so obvious. I just couldn't bring myself to buy any of them. But this one has hidden pin spots. I think that's one. There's another one, but I can't remember where it is, actually. Oh, it's right here, I think. but you really can't see it in the course of normal looking or even close looking until you're super up close trying to clean it, because the olive color is just so good at hiding problems. Look at that. I can say that it feels much nicer. I should probably do these too. I think that the bag overall feels softer, like structurally, since I worked on it. And if you see I'm doing any of this wrong, please let me know. But I'm very happy with how this turned out. I might have to cut in an example of how it looked before. It's still not perfect, still got problems, but I don't think that like anyone else would notice them while I was using the bag. And I don't think they don't stand out or scream at me. Like there's this little darker area here, which was my fault because I scraped it. So much better. Excellent. Job well done, me. Oops, did I miss this? No, that's good. So I would highly recommend this in olive. Or if you're getting another bag and you beat up your bags, olive is great. It will hide all your mistakes. So let's move on to this beauty. This is a medium salmon satchel, and it's got on that replacement strap I mentioned last time. It doesn't match, obviously. I just wanted to try it out as a shoulder bag because this bag did not come with a strap, which is the reason that I got such a good price on it. But I'm okay with that because I can add a wide decorative strap, which will probably be more comfortable in the long run to protect my shoulders. And the leather itself isn't just, it's just smooth and so nice, and it's soft. It's got the smile, which I love. I have one new Florentine bag because it was on deep sale, and it's gonna take a while to get that smile, I can just tell. I think it's coming through darker on the camera than in real life, but it is new. And it's new to me rather, and so I'm going to condition it. Just speaking of, where do you folks get these? I assumed when I started seeing bags with these on them that it came with the bag when you bought it, but none of my bags have come with this. They've come wrapped in tissue paper. So I would love to know, where does one acquire these little stretchy hairnet things for the tassels? Because, for example, these tassels clearly have not been in hairnetty things. They're a little wild. I figure I can tie them down somehow to straighten them out, but if I had some sort of device to do it for me, that would be awesome. This color is just so good. It's like deep creamsicle. So good. All right. The medium satchel has a lot of space on the front. Just make sure this is clean before I apply it. Yeah, good. Didn't pick up any colors. So I feel like maybe there's different thicknesses of Florentine or something, because like the Florentine leather in this bag feels so much more flexible and soft than in the olive medium pocket satchel. And I don't know if it's because of the age or because of the use or because it's actually a different material. Like maybe they used to use a thicker one, or maybe they use a thicker Florentine for certain types of bags that have a lot of structure. But it's quite different, which is interesting. I assumed it would all be the same weight and thickness and hardness. But the Florentine on this salmon bag is just soft and luscious. And it's got a couple minor, condition issues. Is that corner showing up? There it is. but they're not the visible kind really, which is what matters to me. Wonder if this constitutes buffing, to be honest. Let's see if I can apply a little more to this and help make that disappear. Not that it will fully disappear, but the corners are dry. That's annoying. Corners are dry, so hopefully conditioning them will make them appear, pop out less. I think it does work. I think it's less visible because the leather that's exposed from the color having been sort of worn away is now a bit blended and a bit darker and a bit smoother. Or I'm imagining it. It's always possible. This bag also has some dings on the gold hardware, but if you just rotate it, barely visible. I wasn't sure how much I would like a medium satchel, but I knew I did not want another medium pocket satchel. So there was one of these guys for sale in salmon. I really wanted salmon, but I really wanted a satchel. I don't think that they made them in small. I've never seen anyone talking about having one. So I was very excited to get this and find out if medium is too big for me. I think it's not. I just won't load it down, but I don't load up the small satchels either. But I could always take this out and I could take an extra sweater in it or something, which you can't really do in the small satchel unless you were very small or your sweater is very thin. Especially not in the Florentine. The Florentine I have is stiff, as I said. One thing I really like about the Dooney and Burke bags is that the leather looks like leather. I don't like a lot of the other brands where their leather has been stamped or stretched so hard it looks like it could be vinyl. I know some of the Tuscana or Alto bags have an extremely smooth, but they still, at least in photos, they still have that warm glow of leather. I'm not sure what that's about, how they do that. Some kind of magic. But I don't mind it. You know, this has texture, which is great because for all the people who do care, they won't be competing with me for these bags. Win. got a little more corner wear to deal with. Can you see that? See if I can. It's gotten darker in here since I started. Maybe I should turn on the lights, but I'm too lazy to get up. Smells vaguely of car chemical. Like motor oil. Which is strange to me. I specifically got leather buffing cloths. I got them in the automotive aisle of Target, and we came home with our Target purchases a few days ago, and I do not know where they got to. I mean, I've got everything else out of Target stuff. We hung up the wreaths and all that stuff, but I cannot find the bags with my cloths in them, which means someone put them away and didn't make note of it. So the whole exercise was pointless. Well, this corner now looks almost perfect. This one also has largely disappeared with the damage. Fantastic. Wonderful. Did I do the handle? Can't remember. I will do it now. It's so soft. It's totally unlike the pocket section. Fantastic. Just the sides left. Just look how peachy that looks. It looks like an actual peach, or a peach emoji. Are you serious? It didn't focus again? Come on. Well, sorry for the out of focus, you guys. That'll teach me. All right. Fantastic. And I just want to show you guys what it's like when it's empty. got a grab bag of stuffing in here. Super clean inside. Oh, that suede is so soft. So this bag is very squishy. Puddles. My other Florentine bag does definitely not do this, and I wonder if it will ever do this. Oopsie daisy. So yeah, this bag definitely needs to stay stuffed. Sweet. I think I'm done.